Hello, happy Thanksgiving from Detroit, Hamtramck, Michigan. Hamtramck's an island city in Detroit. And I wanted to make this video about DTE Energy. They've been on our block and in our city here, really tearing up our streets for, gosh, 6, 7 years at least now. And they work with another company that they subcontract to, I believe. It's called InfraSource. And these people are like an army on our street, and they've been giving us flack for years. And breathing in the dust, dealing with the vibrations, and you know, taking over of your house as well, because they've all had to come in our houses and install, update things that are mandatory, or else the city is going to cut off your services. And what are you going to do then? So these people just basically have the run of the mill. They have police with them that are plainclothes, dressed just like DTE people, and they're recording everything. So you're also under surveillance and you don't know that. So just like 2 days ago, they show up digging around a telephone pole out front of our house. And this had been a real issue around this telephone pole because we get all these people hanging out here, the fire hydrant's right there. People use it as their utility parking space, standing space, kids playing there, all this stuff, because there's no place for people to play, or they don't want to play in their yards because there's dog crap and all this stuff, and their parents want to do other things. So we really get overtaxed here. And in this spot, they left a sinkhole last year that just kept sinking and sinking, and also on the right side of our property, which you can't see right now. And we were the ones who put dirt in there, purchased dirt, transferred dirt from the backyard, grass seeded, put sod, and put this juniper bush there. That's a couple years old. Actually, it's about a year and a half old now, I think, that spot. But it's been a constant ordeal because the neighbors haven't really supported trying to regrass it. Everyone walking all over it, sinking. So I finally got it looking to halfway decent. And these bozos show up. They've been walking through our neighborhood, our block, all week. These two guys smoking cigarettes, making comments, just like guys out of high school. And I'm like, who are these guys? I was talking to my wife about it. And, anyone can put on a yellow vest. We get a lot of problems with these quote unquote gas bill people, who show up at the door and they want to look at your gas bill to give you a better deal, supposedly, and they're wearing a yellow vest. And we have people that, when we're polite to them even, these guys, these young guys, mostly, and we're like, sorry, we're not interested. And they act like, oh yeah, okay, you'll see. Like that attitude. Oh, these two guys here did the same thing to me. I just politely asked, please, if you're going to dig around that post, don't step on the bush there, get your tarp off of it, get the sod off of it and everything, and they refused. They said they were being harassed by me. They called their DT cop buddy. He showed up, and eventually a whole crowd of 12 guys showed up unmasked. They were very snide in their comments, calling me dead weight, saying, what are you doing at home, this, that, and the other thing. You can get some of the stuff from the recordings that are coming later here. I have 3 quick recordings that you'll see later on, and they, are revealing I haven't done anything to them. They're not edited. Here's another light post we have at our other house, and it exploded above our shed after we put new wood around it. We had an empty house next to us, which was a whole bunch of problems, and that light post was mostly on their property, but we've always been ticketed for it. And we're made to take care of this light post, but DTE says that's 5 foot around their light posts, that's their property. Well, the city takes us into court for this. So I had to argue with these guys to save my bush yesterday, and it was pretty insane. Also, on top of everything, this light post here around the shed in the alley has an old grapevine that's been growing up ever since I had the house, before I had the house. And when I bought the house, a corrupt real estate agent, Andy Borjak, who's up in arms and, collaborating with a lot of people at the city and other people across the area to steal homes and resell them over and over again. He did not pay past fees from the city, which included $500 lawn cuts, included the grapevine and the pole, which is not on this property. This is in the street almost, and it's more towards the vacant house than my house. And so we are assessed all this responsibility. And why is that? Then they say, DTE, that they own 5 feet from that property, yet they hardly ever maintain it. Besides, maybe they come down the alley once in a while and cut some trees and do a hack job at that. And you don't want to see that. And speaking of trees, here's Pine Knob. They want to call it DTE Energy Theater, and I never call it that. I call it Pine Knob. I still call it that. It's an epic place for music here in Metro Detroit for, gosh, 40, 50 years now. There's so many stories. I saw Jackson Brown once in the OOs, and he was talking about sitting on the hill not too far from where we are. And he's doing this concert, we're listening to him talk. And he said that, yeah, I was sitting on the hill on America's first tour, listening to America. It's just like, damn, so many amazing stories and experiences of my own. And I talk about some of those experiences in my other videos. But why do these people get to take over our institutions, rename them, come into our neighborhoods? They have freaked out my cats to the point that if they see anyone with a yellow vest, they run and hide. And they literally have DTE-PSD. I'm sorry, we call it P. It's not funny, but DTE-PSTD. So if any time that they hear the trucks, they super sensitive to the garbage truck now. But the DTE PTSD is no doubt on my nerves as well, and many other people.
We're working a contract. Look, we're just working a contract for you. That's all.
And you're stepping right on that bush. It doesn't give you any right to step on something I planted.
Actually, I'm not on the property.
You're stepping right on that bush.
I'm not stepping on the bush.
It is my property. It's right in front of my house. You want to get into a lawsuit about it?
I'm not stepping on the bush, sir. I'm moving it out of my way.
You're stepping on it. You got grass on part of it too. That's one aspect of that bush.
That's grass on there.
That is not all the bush. And if you want to argue with me about it, I'll show you. You got all that grass on part of the bush there. All that sod you got piled up there is on top of one half of the bush.
Yeah, we're just getting straight harassed by this guy. Alright, thank you. Yep. Alright, cool. Awesome, thank you. Chris is on his way.
Good. Good. I want to talk to him. I see him around the neighborhood every week the last 2 years. I got a roofing crew coming up any minute.
Should definitely be deep enough. Over here. Right there. No, we're just waiting now. There it is. This one. I like that medicine room you have all the time. Alright, what's going on, fellas? This guy right here. Is the whole done? Yep. Well, is he still out here?
Yeah, he's recording us right now.
Okay. Yeah, as am I. I'm recording also. Sir, how are we doing today?
Not very good.
Not very good. Why is that, sir?
You know, I've been putting up with you guys for a couple of years on my block, tearing up the street,
Sir?
making noise, and do you mind if I tell you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm all ears, brother.
I'm sure you are. Now, I planted this bush here right next to the pool, and I put a ton of dirt right there because there was a sinkhole from last time you guys were here, a year ago.
Okay, first of all, are you familiar with property
This
law?
is what happened. I don't care. That is part of my property. That is in front of my house.
Legal area.
If I do not cut that property, I get a picture in the mail from the city, and I show up in court
Absolutely.
to say why I didn't cut that lawn, so we can argue that. But I just asked these guys,
Property law. Yes, sir.
okay, well, this will be on the news, and this will be for you and DTE to discuss. But that's my bush. He's got his sod and stuff planted on top of that bush that I planted this year. If you guys think you're more important than me to come here one day and just crap on me basically and tell me what these guys are saying here the last few hours or a few minutes that I have them recorded and talking to you and talking negatively and smoking cigarettes here, which I'm asthmatic. I don't really appreciate that. These two guys have been out in front of my house all week. They've come by. They've walked by. They've said things that I've noticed that they're like. I've talked to my wife about it. You can call her. She's at work right now. I got a roofing company that's supposed to show up any minute. So, and I got another property that I own in the city right now. So you guys think that I'm someone that hears that doesn't have anything going on. I don't have any job to do. Like they just said, I do have work to do, and I have done a lot of stuff. I'm older than you. Don't tell me my business, okay? You guys are in front of my house digging up my property. I asked you politely.
Sir, they're not digging up.
You have half of your stuff on top of my bush that I planted this year, and I don't appreciate that. Half of this, if you want to destroy our property needlessly and not fix it.
This is an inspection that has to be done on these poles for DTE.
Well, you don't have to destroy the property. You don't have to act like that and talk to me that way and accuse me of something. This is my property. This is stuff that I've worked on. This is my city that I live in.
In all fairness,
you guys want to come in and tear up our property for 2 years.
Any way negative, I will fire them on the spot.
I don't want anyone losing their job.
Well, I'm saying,
I'm just telling you a respectful issue. I'm talking respectfully about respect, and this is my property that I maintain, that I'm legally, I can be taken into court if I do not maintain that property. So, you talk to the city about that, and I will share this. And
absolutely, as I am recording also.
Oh yeah, you go ahead and share it. Share what you've done to someone at their house today. I didn't have any plan. I'm not getting paid for this like you guys are. I'm out here defending my property. I worked on that all year, and then I had to sit with you guys on our block all year and last year, tearing up our block and making noise.
Today is the first time we've done work on your block.
Well, you guys and INFRA SOURCE and all of their crew has been out here tearing up this property. There was a sinkhole here from the last people who were here. Whether it's not you or DTE or INFRA SOURCE or whoever the heck you guys are, I don't know. Well, I asked you guys politely, do not step on the bush, and as you can see, half of the bush is still covered with sod. It's being flattened, and these people just think that that's okay, that that's something that needs to be done.
I mean,
if you're going to continue killing my bush and talking to me, go ahead. I'd rather see you finish this inspection. These guys have been walking up and down here all week, pacing my house, getting paid for this. So why don't you guys do your job then?
Well, because I'm taking care of your complaint first and foremost.
I've given you my complaint. It's pretty obvious. Are you going to do something about it, or are you just going to stand there looking menacing?
Looking menacing, sir. If this is menacing,
you guys are just smoking and walking back and forth and slapping your boots and acting like you're big guys on campus here.
No. We just have a job to do.
Do you live in Hamtramck?
Absolutely.
Where do you guys live?
They're from Minnesota. I'm from Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yes,
do you guys have people show up and mess with your property for a couple years straight, and
absolutely.
Dust in your...
Absolutely. It's part of having utilities on your property is they have to be inspected.
Okay.
Hey, you guys just stop. Actually, go on to your next one.
Yeah, that was the last one, actually.
Yeah, this was our last one. Okay. Go back over to the trees. Sir, if you'd be so kind as to say, I will give you my phone number. You can send me any video you have of them in any negative light, and I will gladly take care of that.
Hey, I've worked many jobs. I don't want anyone getting fired.
Well, I mean,
I'm just pissed because I care about trees, and I put up with other people on this block too, who step on that property and do stuff over there.
My job is to maintain an image out here. If these people were talking down to you, I cannot have them doing that to anyone.
Well, that's their issue. They can learn from their mistakes.
I mean, if you're saying they did it, send me the video, and I will gladly take care of it. I will give you my phone number.
Well, you can look on Hamtramck, Highland Park and Hamtramck Events Facebook page.
Oh, I don't have time for that, sir. I have better things to do than Facebook.
That's the Facebook page that I control that talks about issues and has been talking about the developments going on in the city and on our block for years now.
Okay. All right.
And it's
if
not-
you'd be so kind as to
our
send me
cats-
the video, I will address any issues I see in the video.
Our cats won't even hang out here because of you guys. They see your vests. We have cats. They run away when they see your yellow vests.
Sir, are you really concerned about the cats running away because?
I'm concerned about your presence. That's not cool to feel like these people can come into our neighborhood
Sir,
and talk to us that
part
way.
of living in a neighborhood is being able to accept what's going on around you. If you don't like those things, I mean, there are options.
I've lived in
nowhere.
restraintful places like, trailer parks, condominium, where you got laws that are more intense than here.
Yep. I'm
Okay,
100%.
so I'm cool, but I don't want my bush destroyed. You guys got the stuff on top of it right now. I think that's needless.
It's absolutely not needless. Well, okay, let me.
You could have it over there. Just pull that stuff over. Half of the bush is being flattened right now. That's half of it. There's the other half that's towards the street.
Underneath that tarp?
Yeah, totally underneath that.
Okay, now I will agree. Hey, look, they should have taken
Oh, look.
time to move it.
That's all I asked them to do.
Looking at that, that's clearly been down on the ground for quite some time. You can tell by the dead.
He's been stepping on it and he had all that stuff on top of
No,
it.
sir. No, sir. That is clearly, very clearly been growing in that right there.
Because I just planted it. I just planted it this year.
Okay.
And I had another company, FSM, who will testify. They were out here working on our crawling space last week, and I talked with the carpenter, please do not step on the bush. He was going back and forth to his truck, back and forth. I didn't want to get him fired. I'm just like, please, I planted this. This is like a year going now. So that's all I ask you guys to do.
Had they already covered it up at the time you asked?
They were stepping on it. They were throwing dirt on it.
You have that on video?
I have it on video.
Okay, please send that to me. My phone number needs to be on your video. 614-563-1271. Again, 614-563-1271. You send that to me, I will gladly address any issues I see.
And what's your name again?
Chris Smith.
Okay, and I won't say where my wife works, but literally we were talking about these guys yesterday. And they're coming back and forth all week. And we're like, what are they doing?
They walked down through here yesterday. after this one. That should have been the only time they walked on the street this week. And we're being recorded again, gentlemen. No, I don't either. You're gonna hate it when they auger this hole out.
I don't know. It's kind of.
What did it do?
Stop doing.
One of these numbers. Quick. I think it was getting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Oh, I could tell when you drilled it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to say, oh yeah, for me.
You're the pro from here.
Might as well just measure your shell. So that pole's gonna have to go. Yeah.
Got going on the channel over there.
I didn't. I hit snags. What? They didn't push through that easy over there. I did hit snags.
Yeah, you
It's hollow.
I mean,
I don't know why they
can't hide what you really are.
should be two.
You can't hide what you actually are.
Two over here. Two there.
I got you.
Probably not my left hand now.
So we're gonna have a hollow pole.
If it's negative, you're unplugged. It's positive.
Horizontal or 30s?
Yeah, I'll do them at 45. Be consistent. So you're measuring them the same way every time. Measure them down into the pole.
Just push through that direction.
Should be a hopefully for you. You're already into the hole, so he's got to make that show.
What are you doing on that?
Push it in. Push it in.
That OGC.
Can't have it, dog.
I can.
Take it down to play.
Inch and a half.
Hey man, it's got to be recorded. Put it out.
It's not exactly early stage. It's hollow.
If there wasn't no man.
2.5.
That's serious question. He did it. He did it over there.
We got
It's
that
hollow.
straightened
Is
out.
that something?
Not yet. We don't have an original ground line circumference. Waiting on the steppers over here.
Hey, that is important. I won't heresy on it. That's right. Same thing. Oh. See about gone.
You got your measurements?
Strength count. Long strength count. What we got in our 90 there? We're close to 94. What?
We have that at 1 and then 1.5.
So put a 1 and a 2.
I see what happened.
Put a 1 and a 2 in the negatives.
They didn't do the SR circumference down here, so we got to type in big 1.5 right there. So now go to strength count.
Why do this now?
What were the measurements? Already hit the +4. What's in our 90? Shelf in the 90. Nope, no, you don't have to change it. It's already on there. Hit. What's shelf in the 90?
Put a 1 and a 2 in the 90s.
1 and a 2 in the 90, so 1. And then do your negative 90. Nope, don't call it like that. Do your orientation, do your negative 90, click on this one. And then shell, 2. What about our LOLs?
1.5 and 2.5 outside.
1.5. Put 1.5 here.
Inside himself.
Oh, you do that?
1.5. And then negative LOL, 2.5. Down there, it's even worse.
Like I'm the whole shelf literally pushing in.
40%.
Alright, so you're going to be a reject.
Yep.
Go ahead and drill for restoration.
Alright, let's start getting. So we're done with that. We'll check mark. 47.
Once he's done with all this.
So then we're going to do primary reject reasons.
Back on
Hollow.
those streets out there.
That's gonna be
Let's do them on. Let's do them on. It doesn't matter. There's no right lead on this. Doesn't matter.
I'll do it from this side then.
Well, they're generally. That's for. A little blueberry bowl.
Already pulled, no. Average shell at 15 inches. You can wait for those. But you can go through and do all your other reject stuff while we wait for those. So, restorable pole top rating is a C. Restorable pole obstructions, none. Pole accessibility, that's a 50 feet.
You guys know how wonderful my day is. You guys know I'm alive.
So good.
Okay.
So now we're going to go to location 11388. Remember where problem is this?
I do not have
We'll find that for you. I'll get that for you. Okay. Klinger Street.
Oh yeah, we knew that. We'd already said that.
Yeah, we already said that. Klinger was
A lot of weird shit on the street.
That's still up in the face. Hammer Montana, that's still like that. Come on, what's wrong?
That's on the keyboard. Look at the floor. Two photos.
As you can see, there's 10 guys here, and they're all making decisions about changing this pole. They think that they're taking revenge on us by changing this pole when it's not necessary.
One corner up in the alleyway.
Might as well grab a shovel too.
Grab a shovel and a rake.
They should be about here.
Right, good.
They shouldn't take long.
Have a rake as well.
Alright, let's get that full. Let's get that full book. So let's all step out of the way.
Step right out there.
So it takes these guys, 10 guys here, to come out and harass us and threaten us that they need to put in a new post. This is a perfectly fine light post, but that's the way things go here in this area, padding jobs.
That's more of the shoes. Yeah. Found at 5 feet.
Found that. Okay.
No, it's solid. It's solid. So your shell thickness of 4 inches was found at 5 feet.
Okay.
How's 15 inches?
Yeah.
That's
Alright, that's not good. We'll wait until we get the other side. That way we know for sure.
Yeah, it's out of order.
just to satisfy your obvious curiosity. They will be coming to replace this pole within a year. Probably going to auger out your bush when they do that. Since I know it's a big concern, so you may want to, if it's that big of a concern for you, you may want to find another place to plant it. Just trying to help you out.
All right, I will, but to let you know as well, just a little information for you. There's a telephone pole at the other house that we have in the back, and for 10 years we've been charged by the city for stuff growing up it, stuff growing around it.
Who owns that power pole?
I assume it's you because I've had to call you guys for exploded.
We work for DTE. You haven't called us. We're a contractor for DTE. You've called
Well,
DTE in the past?
In cases of areas around telephone poles, this is something that isn't even on my property at this other location, but it's close enough that I have legal responsibility for what grows up it. And there's a vine that grows up it, a grapevine. And this is 11, 12 years this going on. And this is something that I'm legally responsible for. If I were to just let this grow up in grass and just let it go, they'd send a picture of it. The city would take a picture of it, send it to me in the mail,
Absolutely.
and I'd be in court.
Absolutely.
So I have...
It's like you're responsible for this sidewalk, even though you do not own it.
If you're going to replace the pole, then fine. But I will move the bush. That's no big deal to me. But I don't feel like seeing it get destroyed all of a sudden.
No, and I don't think we've actually done any damage to it if you're looking at it. Yes, sir. As far as you seem pretty thorough. As far as the stuff growing up the other pole, if the city's charging for it, I would have them send someone out and say, "Why are you sending it?" I would fight that, and you seem like the type of fellow that would fight it tooth and nail. I would if it. I know the law though. I went to college for property law. I would 100% fight, and I would do the same thing if I were you. I'm not paying for something that's not mine.
I have documented it in the canister, whatever you call it, above. That's on the
big round thing.
Exploded one time all over my shed. I documented all that. I mean, it's, yeah, I've called DTE many times.
Absolutely.
But I haven't had any help so far. So
I tell everyone who has a problem with any of the companies we work for, I say, hey, look, there's not a whole lot I can do to help you. But be the squeaky wheel, set you on an alarm for every Monday or Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. and call them every week at that time. So maybe something will happen, but no guarantees.
All right, well, the fact that I know that this is going to be taken out now, then I'll move that bush.
Yeah, I mean, clearly that one's been there a long time, so, and nothing with it, but yeah, anything by law, anything within 5 feet of a utility structure, whether that be a pedestal, pole, anything like that, can be removed from. I mean, if I wanted to just be a prick earlier, I could have told my guys, hey guys, just go up there, grab the saw, let's get rid of this. I try not to do it. As I explained, hey look, I know how I would.
You'd be hearing from your bosses, because I would definitely be talking to some people if that would have happened.
It's all right to talk to them, but they're going to tell you the same thing.
I don't think so.
Oh, I know so, brother.
Oh, I don't think so. You do it, I'll record it.
Okay. That's how that would go.
I've met enough tree haters in my time. I record you guys. 30 years.
Yeah, hollow.
What are you doing? It's already done.
That's my half mark, not my actual mark.
And due to COVID restrictions, I'm going to be going in the house because there's a large group of people here without masks. But they have workers in Hamtramck. You guys have walking around smoking cigarettes, harassing people, pounding their shovels on our sidewalk. Because I asked these two guys, please get your stuff off of the bush. Can you dig around that without destroying that bush on our property? And they said we're harassing them. So I just think that this double standard needs to be understood. you know, that this is happening, and that for 6 years we've had to deal with this. My cats are freaked out. People comment on the neighborhood network about it all the time, about how these people just run the mill, you know, do whatever they want, and we're really tired of it. So as you can see through the videos, I was very polite and straightforward about just trying to save that bush. They could have knocked on my door, said, hey, we got to dig here. This is your property. I can tell you maintained it. We have to dig this up. And what makes it 10 times worse is just that these people were just bullyish. They're just acting like slapping their gloves, like, hey, they're going to, you know, just like these gas guys who come up with the gas bill, and even some of the Jehovah's Witness people. I mean, they're just such bullies. It seems like these types of people are really over-empowered by being in Hamtramck or Detroit because they think that no one's going to do anything. You know, the police don't show up. People don't really look out for each other very much, you know, and they just act like, oh yeah, I'm going to get my boys. I can't tell you for how many years I've come up against that kind of attitude amongst knuckleheads around here. And that's all over Metro Detroit. So the next day I did transfer the bush, and I moved it over to the right where there was a sinkhole at one time, and it's not that bad. And I made a video about that, and I'll be sharing that video, I think, separately, and try to cut down on the length of some of these videos. It's kind of a chore uploading at times, as a lot of you out there know. But overall, there's a lot more I can say about this, just the attitudes in general, the police working with these people. You know, it's how many of these people are actually also paid by taxpayers one way or another in terms of, you know, tax money going to projects, going to police, security for these people, and they're walking around like bullies. There's no need for that. And even off camera, in between the first and second segment, the cop DTE guy said, my wife would be upset with that as well. And there's a lot of gender implications, like, you know, the wife should be home and this, that, and the other thing, of course. So, anyway, this is the bullshit of Hamtramck, Detroit, and that's what DTE did.